Hello, Bulldog Nation. I'm Gardner-Webb University President Bill Downs, and welcome to Episode 3 of First Downs. First Downs is a new series that we're providing to introduce you to some of the people who make Gardner-Webb so special and so great. And here we are visiting historic Spangler Stadium right here on the campus of Gardner-Webb University, home of GWU football, and I am joined this evening by new head coach Cris Reisert. Coach, how you doing?
Doing awesome. So cool to be here. It's really cool to be in Spangler Stadium. It's just kind of where all the magic happens. And so to be able to capture that and be able to be on the third episode of First Downs, cool opportunity.
We appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being here on a hot, boiling Springs evening. So Coach Reisert joined the Gardner-Webb family back in December of 2023. He's had a busy 6 or 7 months on the job. We'll ask Coach about his work so far building the program. We'll talk about some personnel. We'll talk about some of our Fall 24 opponents, what fans can look forward to on game day at Spangler Stadium, and probably a whole lot more. So, new era, new excitement, new possibilities. Let's start with the Cris Reisert biography. Most recently head coach at Tiffin University in Ohio. There he led the Dragons to 3 GMAC conference championships in 5 seasons, posting 40 wins against just 11 losses. Before that, he was the offensive coordinator at his alma mater, Ohio Dominican University in Columbus, Ohio. And then he was tight ends coach at Elon University. And in that role, he's already coached a game right here in Spangler Stadium. If I'm correct, you're 1-0.
1-0. 1-0. We got to keep that rolling.
There you go. Prior to Elon, assistant offensive line coach at Ball State University. And then get this, folks, as a player, Cris Reisert started 4 years at quarterback for Ohio Dominican, where he was named the 2007 NAIA National Player of the Year and was a 2-time All-American. He was inducted into his alma mater's Hall of Fame in 2019. Incredible pedigree. Coach, we're just delighted to have you here as part of the Gardner-Webb family. Let me ask you this opening question. Hard to believe you've been here half a year.
I know.
Summarize that half a year. Has it been a blur? Has it been a mad dash? Or do you feel like you've settled into a rhythm?
A little bit of everything. It has been a mad dash. It has been a blur. But I really do feel like we've settled into a rhythm. I think, Gardner-Webb is such a unique place where it's so much about the relationships that you can build here and the relationships that you hold dear to you. And so to be able to kind of lay the foundation of that in the first couple months of the job, and then to be able to see those relationships kind of take place and to see the fruit of those has been really, really cool. But it's been the first couple months where, I can't even remember them. It feels like I've been here 3 years, and in a good way. But it's been neat to be able to see the transition kind of happen and the growth of our program really in just those short 6 months, and just so excited for where we're headed.
I think even before the press conference was done, you were already at work building a staff.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the guys that you've brought in to be part of your leadership team.
Yeah, no, I mean, you mentioned a lot of really cool accomplishments over the course of my playing or coaching career, and really, I think the similarities between both of those are just really awesome people around me. I've been fortunate to work with some amazing coaches, been fortunate to coach some amazing players, and so when we got here, I understood the importance of surrounding myself with just amazing men. I think at times we complicate football. It's really not that complicated. It's a simple game. It's about blocking, catching, throwing, and it's about surrounding your staff and your program with men that care about holistic development, men that are going to take care of our players, and guys that will elevate the level of effort of everyone around them. And I've really been able to do that with this staff, and I feel so confident about their ability to develop our current roster on and off the field.
Some of these guys you've worked with before?
Yeah, so we were able to bring most of our whole staff down from Tiffin.
Okay.
And then the bulk of the other guys were guys that I had coached with. They were a GA for me way back when, or I'd played against. Our defensive coordinator, Tim Cooper, was the DC at Indianapolis, and that's the one team at Tiffin we struggled with on offense. And so I always kind of casually stayed in touch, right? Thinking that if I ever got an opportunity, it'd be pretty cool for us to join forces. And so that's been neat to be able to see some of those things come to life. But it's mostly guys that I've been around for a long time that are loyal, and I know who they are, they know who I am, and we work really, really freely together.
So in addition to building staff, roster looks a lot different.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to work fast
Yeah.
and aggressively to build a roster. Tell us about your philosophy, what you went after, what skill positions, and how it all went.
Yeah, I think I learned at Tiffin there's a difference in building a roster and acquiring talent. And I think that's something that you have to take wholeheartedly. And it's not just football talent, it's complementary pieces. It's, hey, we have 4 quiet D linemen, let's go get a little boisterous one. Let's go get a guy that maybe talks a little bit more to round out that roster and find the right fit for us as a program. And so it was very diligently getting here, evaluating where we were at and understanding who our guys were and where they could go, but then at the same time, where are the voids in our roster? And so I think it was about evaluating Gardner-Webb when we first got here, and then figuring out where are the ways that we can maybe bring a guy in here, bring a guy in there to make us better, and then do they fit Gardner-Webb? And that's the one thing that I found is that the guys that do fit here absolutely love the small school environment, the environment to be able to grow in their faith, the environment to play Division I football at a high level and an amazing culture. We just had to find the right guys, and I really believe that we have.
So a Sports Illustrated article last week reported that you brought in the 4th most FBS transfers of any FCS program in the country. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it's cool. You know, I think it screams that we're on the right track. And I think, you know, it wasn't like us just going to take in anybody randomly. It was, these guys were chosen, you know, and they were guys that filled a void for us that we have a plan for, on and off the field. And so I think that makes it even more rewarding for us to know that this wasn't somebody that came here because they had to. We were going out and beating other places to get the guys that we wanted. And it signals a lot of hard work from our staff. It signals a really healthy university and a place that people want to be. And I think it signals our culture programmatically as a football team where when you come in the building, I do believe that it does feel different than other places. And there is a relationship presence here. And it's not that way everywhere. And I think it's a carryover from our university.
All good signs. So what did you learn about the guys, the staff, and the roster that you brought in at your spring game?
A lot. You know, I think you have to go, as you're building up to the spring game, I think you lose sight that there's a lot of people that care about this, you know, and we're in our own little bubble, and then you get here and there's fans and there's a band and you're coming out and it's like, wait, where am I? You know? And so I think that was such a rewarding night for us that we got to go into the fire a little bit, got to see who kind of showed up and who didn't. I always tell them, you're either a moth or a cockroach, right? The moth and the lights come on, you gravitate towards it, right? And the cockroach and the lights come on, you scurry away. And so we got to find who were moths, and not too many cockroaches, which is good. But it was a cool opportunity for our program that we needed to have.
All right, so let's fast forward a little bit and take a glimpse into the fall.
Yeah.
Just a few short weeks from now, we're going to open on a Thursday night, August 29th, under the lights here at Spangler Stadium. It'll be loud. There'll be a good crowd. Crowd's going to be curious. It's going to be a curious crowd because they're going to want to see what this new coach and this new team can do. It's a tough schedule this year. And give us a little sense. I mean, we opened with Wofford College. Wofford had a 2-9 season last year, but they've owned us. They've won 8 of the last 10. I don't think we've beaten them since we beat them here in 2014. So even though James Madison's lurking on the near horizon, we got to take care of business with Wofford. Give us a little scouting report on what opening day is going to look like.
Well, I think you're going to see a team that's going to attack. You know, I think you're going to see a team that's going to play with energy, going to play with excitement. We're going to play to win and not afraid to lose. You know, I think there's a difference in that. And so we're going to work really diligently all summer like we already have all off season just to build the confidence and the conviction that we're supposed to be here and we're here for a reason, and what we're doing and how we're doing it is exactly the way it should be done. And so you're going to see a team that believes in itself, is connected, is on the same page, and we'll come out firing.
So with James Madison and UNC Charlotte on the schedule, 2 FBS teams, some coaches dread those. Other coaches salivate at the opportunity to knock one of them off. How does your motto, no flinch, factor in to going into their place and taking on FBS opponents? Yeah,
I mean, to me, we sold that in recruiting. You know, you get a chance to show that you do belong at that level and you belong at a high level at this level. And I think for us, it's an opportunity to prove who we are. And there'll be, like any game, there'll be ups and downs. And so our ability to withstand the barrage of emotion, right, of negative things, and really just be able to keep moving forward and have faith that we're trained and we're convicted and where we're supposed to be, I think that no flinch mentality will lead us to where we want to get to.
All right, so given your connections to Ohio,
Yeah.
you know that we just strengthened our partnership with the Ohio Valley Conference, which gives us some certainty about who we're playing and the pathway to the playoffs for the next 6 or so years.
Yep.
What's your take on the OVC and the strength of the teams in that conference?
I think it's a great conference. You know, I think it's right where we need to be, and it's right where we should be, and the opportunity to compete week in and week out. You know, there are no fluff games. You know, every game you need to be able to bring it. And I think in order for us to continue to sharpen our sword as a program, we need that. We need to be in a conference like that where, you know, every single week you have to prepare the right way. You have to come in with the right mentality. And if you don't, you're going to get knocked off. And it's a consistent grind. And so I love it. I think it's great for our program. I love the opportunity to compete against teams all over the Midwest and to be able to showcase who we are in North Carolina and the brand of ball that we play.
November 2nd, Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Playing Charleston Southern. Third iteration of the Barbecue Bowl.
Sure.
Here's a non-football question.
Okay.
What's the difference between Ohio barbecue and barbecue in the Carolinas?
I think it's a sauce. I think it's a sauce. Well, you know,
We'll get some letters on that.
So my favorite barbecue place in Ohio, and I shouldn't even say this, I'll probably get run off, but is Montgomery Inn, and they do ribs, and they don't even smoke them. They broil them, yeah, right. They broil them. It's a thick sauce. It's like it's the greatest thing to me.
That's your mulligan right there.
There's no doubt, and I love that. And then coming down here to get exposed to true North Carolina barbecue, I think we do it a little bit better down here in that regard. But I would say the main difference for me is the sauce.
All right, from barbecue to family. Tell us about your family. How have they settled in?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. Have an amazing wife, Emily. She is the true head coach. She's the rock star. You know, she's, you know, if anything good happens here for us, it's because of her and probably her idea. And I love that. I love being able to have a sounding board and somebody that I can always turn to, and that we do this thing together. And then I have an 8-year-old son, Hawkins, and he's a rock star. The move was hard on him, but he's starting to really settle into North Carolina and see the value and the things that can be had here. And so proud of him. He's a leader. He's a guy that does it right all the time and just tries to do his best every single day. And then Lennox is our free spirit. She's an artist. She's just turned 5. I know everybody says it, but like going on 35. She's amazingly mature for how little she is, but she's joyful. She's caring. She's free. She's amazing. So I'm very blessed with that. You know, I hit a home run there, and but we're getting settled. You know, it's cool. Part of the reason why we were so pulled to come down to Gardner-Webb was the community aspect. I think just the way that people go out of their ways to welcome you, you know, whether it's to have you over for dinner, whether it's to invite your kids to a play date or a birthday party. It's not like that everywhere. And I don't think it's like that everywhere in North Carolina. I just think Cleveland County is really special, you know, and Boiling Springs and Shelby are really special. And so we're grateful to be here, and the people have been so amazing to us, and it's helped us get settled and feel really comfortable and allow me to focus on the things that I need to focus on here, knowing that our family's in a great spot.
Have you had a moment in the last 6 or 7 months where you as a family could just pause and exhale and look back and be proud of what you've done in the past 6 or 7 months?
You know, we have. When Lennox, she graduated from preschool, right? And you would think she graduated from Gardner-Webb, right? There was, you know, pictures and videos and gowns and all the above, right? But we went out and had a celebratory dinner and celebrated her and celebrated Hawk. Hawk got straight A's in his class. He was in the straight A honor roll. So we took an evening and just went out and just kind of like let them know how proud we were of them. And then for my wife too, like what an amazing job she did, right? For both kids to be here and thriving, and that wasn't me, that was her, you know? And so it was cool for all of us to really sit down and reflect, and no football, none of that stuff mattered at that point, you know, just about our family and happy with where we're at and blessed with where we're at and ready to keep moving forward.
Good stuff. All right, you ready for the lightning round?
Let's do it.
Let's do the lightning round. All right, Coach, if you were not coaching football today, if destiny had taken you in a different direction, what do you think you'd be doing?
Teaching. You know, people have asked me that. I really have no idea. Teaching, probably. Something to help.
It's a noble profession.
Something to help people improve and be around young people and like I always thought I was going to be, I know this is lightning round, so I shouldn't expand,
It's all good.
but I always thought I was going to be like a business guy. In my junior year, we did a passing camp down in Cincinnati. And so I hired all of my old high school teammates, and we trained 4th through 7th grade. And so I had them all summer, and that's where I kind of got the itch to coach. And it was called the Next Generation Passing Camp.
Okay.
And then this year we had a camp here, and it was called the Next Generation Passing Camp. And so it was cool to kind of come full circle in the coaching journey. But I just think I was called to be a coach. I don't know if I could do anything else. I'm not that good at anything else. I like to think I'm okay at coaching, and that's just what I am.
We like to think you're okay at coaching. Favorite quarterback of all time, college or NFL?
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. Favorite Super Bowl of all time?
Gosh. When Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl with the Broncos.
There you go. Who wins championships, defense or offense?
It's a loaded question. I would say I would say we have an offensive and a defensive guy here, right? I would say they both do. I think from a football sense, back in the day, defense really did. Offense nowadays, really, when you look at the successful teams in the last 5 years, teams that have won national championships, Super Bowls, typically they're in the top 5 or 10 in offensive categories, really every one. So I think defensively, creating takeaways and creating TFLs directly enhances your offensive ability to play good football and score. So I think it goes hand in hand, but I think you've seen a shift in the game a little bit.
I think you could be a diplomat.
Yeah.
All right, so Spangler Stadium, it's packed.
Yeah.
It's a crisp fall Saturday. It's loud. Would you rather beat somebody here resoundingly by 4 touchdowns or with a Hail Mary, zeros on the clock?
Oh, I'll take the 4 touchdowns. I got no problem with that. Yeah, that's good for my heart. I imagine we're going to have plenty of close ones, so the 4-1 would be nice.
All right. Any game day rituals or superstitions?
No. Do a workout in the morning, and that's about it. Get up, ready to rock and roll, and go do it. I don't really listen to music.
You don't turn your hat 3 times?
No, even as a player, I never really had, it was before like iPods and all that stuff. And then right when I just, almost got done, iPods came out. I didn't listen to anything. I just kind of hang out. And then when you get to go play, you get to go play. So that's about it. I'm kind of boring.
That way.
Yeah, I'm kind of boring that way.
Coach at any level who's most influenced the way that you coach today?
I've had so many amazing mentors, but I'd probably say Todd Goebel. He's the special teams guy at NC State. I was with him as a young coach, and it was the first time that I understood the urgency that it takes to be a great coach, the enthusiasm and the passion that you have to bring every single day, and the edge that you have to coach with. And I didn't really understand that until I was around him, and it was always my personality, but to be around him and see the energy and the passion, the enthusiasm that he brought, but then also the meticulous detail that he presented with, that was really cool for me early in my career, and that played a big role in where I'm at.
Gardner-Webb will win a 3rd straight conference championship if
we have the tightest culture in the entire country. We've got the tightest locker room in the entire country. I think this is it's a human business, and we have players from all over the country that have just gotten to Gardner-Webb or have been here for a semester or 2, and our ability to go out of our way to connect and build really strong relationships. We talked today, strong connections equals strong teams, and the highest level of performance requires the highest level of trust. How do you build trust? Character, competence, and connection, and so being able to highlight those things and bring those to life, I think that'll dictate how far we take this thing.
Last question in the lightning round. How's your arm?
Still good.
So if one of these guys goes down, could you lead us on the 80-yard, 2-minute drill?
You know what? As long as no one could tackle me. If I was just allowed to sit there and
the red vest on.
The red vest, like a 7-on-7 thing, I think I'm still pretty lethal, but the contact might be an issue.
You're still young, you can do it. All right, Coach, that wraps up the first segment of our episode. We're going to take a brief break, and then we're going to come back and meet some of the guys on this year's squad. So stick around. All right, everybody, welcome back to First Downs. Joined by Coach Reisert and Ren Heffley. How you doing, sir?
Hey, doing good.
All right, so tell us about your pathway to Gardner-Webb. What position, what drew you here?
I'm a quarterback, and Coach Reisert actually recruited me from Middle Tennessee State University. I had hip surgery there last year and ended up in the portal and really graduated and really fortunate to have a place to come to grad school and play 2 more years.
First impressions of Gardner-Webb, first impressions of Boiling Springs, North Carolina.
Oh, I love it. It's a smaller place, but I like that. I like that, you're not just a number. You kind of get to know the staff, and you get to know all the people here, and you kind of see familiar faces every day. And it's I grew up in the country, so it's feels like home. I like it.
So, Coach, what did you see in him? Why'd you bring him?
Smart, diligent, accurate as all heck. The first thing we care about in quarterbacks is, can you throw the football accurately? And completion percentage was at a rapid rate, was a JUCO All-American in Northwest Mississippi, had done it at a high level. And so then you get a chance to meet him and meet his family, and you can tell why he's wired the way that he is, diligent, detailed. And we knew that he'd be a guy that we could trust and that he could make every throw on the field. And he's been able to display that since he's been here.
So what are you looking forward to most about the upcoming season?
Man, I'm just ready to play. Trying not to look too far ahead on our schedule. Just really worried about those first 3 and just coming out and playing. And I'm just excited.
Describe your style of play. Are you pocket passer? Are you going to run? Are you triple threat? I mean, give us a sense of your style of play.
I tend to be more of a pocket passer. I've always kind of emulated my brother, but he had a different tool set. He was 6'5", and big guy. He played at Tulsa, and he was kind of slow, so he always hung out in the pocket. And I've kind of always emulated him and tried to play like I couldn't run. That's what my dad's always kind of taught me. But I can run when I need to.
And so you emulate your brother, but of college or pro quarterbacks?
Oh, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
The GOAT. Gotta go with Tom Brady.
He's been roasted recently. We can't talk about that here. What's it like being coached by a guy who played the position so well, NAIA National Player of the Year, in the same position that you play?
Right, yeah, it's awesome because he gets it. And Coach Veraldi gets it too, our quarterback coach. Both of them actually played, and they're not speaking from an outsider's perspective, somebody who's just watched film or just, seeing it from the stands. They've actually, they've been in the helmet, they've been out on the field, and they've learned the hard way. And so it's really cool to get coached by somebody who's been where you've been and where you want to go.
So studying Masters of Business Administration.
Yes, sir.
What's the future look like for you after football?
Still up in the air. It's it'd be hard to leave football, hard to leave this place. So I don't know if coaching's in my future, or potentially go work with my sister. She works in finance back in Little Rock at Stevens, and that would be fun to be with family, but it'll be hard to walk away from football.
Gets this hot in Little Rock?
Hotter.
So you can deal with 96 degrees. Coach, what else we need to know about Ren?
No, I think Ren's been, the cool thing about Ren is that he works harder than anybody that I've seen. Every day he's up in the building watching tape. He's walking through plays in the middle of the night. He's just detailed in everything that he does. And I think it's cool when you see good things happen to guys that work for it and earn it. And it'll be really fun for him to have success this year because he's worked so hard to put himself in a position to do that. And so I think that'll aid in his confidence and his belief in himself and our confidence and our belief in him. And so I'm just excited for him to get the opportunity to put it on display.
How do you stay healthy? Everything hinges on a healthy quarterback, right?
So actually getting involved in the community, Jordan and I have one of our other receivers have started doing yoga at a place in Shelby. So that's one way. Try and keep up with the times. We're both older guys, so.
And having a good offensive line will help too, right?
That too.
All right. You got some big boys up front?
We do. We got a lot of guys that play really hard, and I'm excited. Like Jack at tackle, only got 1 year left. We got a lot of guys on the team with 1 year left, and I just want to go out and give them the year that they deserve and play as hard as we can. Do what we can do.
Well, we're excited to have you here. Last question. favorite restaurant in Cleveland County?
I'd
We were
say-
talking about this before. I know you got one.
I'd say El-Ak.
El Ak.
That's my favorite spot.
All right, you heard it right there. Bulldog fans will show up.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for being here. Good luck, and many first downs in your future.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back. We are back for the last segment of our show. We're going to switch sides of the ball. We're going defense now. Aiden Bell,
Sir.
how are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Now, Aiden, you were on the team last year.
Yes, sir.
Played with us. Tell us why you stuck around.
You know, of course, when coaches leave, you kind of think about it. You go, weigh your options, and I just wanted to wait around, see what was coming in. And from the moment Coach Reisert called me, and we kind of got to talk about what he's bringing in, what he kind of culture he wants to bring, I feel like that's something that fits me. I feel like his culture and my values really align. So I trusted him. And then in the spring, loved how things were going, loved the defense. So a lot of things to keep me here.
Is the defensive style going to look any different to the fans than it did last year?
I think it will. I think it'll be a little more exciting. We really want to get up to the quarterback,
Sure.
really want to get in the backfield. A lot of times people try to, bend, don't break mentality. I don't think that's our mentality on defense. I think our mentality is more, we're coming after you. So I think it's a little different.
What does it mean to you to be on this field and to be defending a conference championship?
First time in my career, it's a little more weight on your shoulders. You want to push a little harder because I get a taste. I got a taste of a conference championship. Got my ring recently. I want to keep it.
You got it on now?
No,
come on, man.
Out.
Those are nice rings.
I know.
Yeah.
I love it. I want another one. So with that, to your question, it's like every team, if they're coming here, they have to beat us here. Like I want another one. I only got one more year left, so I want another one.
So you came from Texas. So this is mild weather for you,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, a little cooler.
Doesn't phase you at all. And you're studying what at Gardner-Webb?
Exercise science. Gonna be starting the master's program in the fall. Strength conditioning.
Did I hear you were helping out our wrestling team?
Yep, a couple different teams. Mainly wrestling, swim, basketball, a couple other ones, but mainly wrestling.
Coach, what'd you see in him?
It's tough. Aiden's been a steadying presence for us since I got here. He's not a man of many words, but when he talks, the guys value what he says. And he's all about action. Every single day you get his best. And I think that when you're around him, you have two choices, either to elevate yourself to get to his level or kind of scurry off into the distance. And the guys have really been able to kind of follow his lead in the way that he works, and that stuff's contagious. And so it's cool to have him kind of leading the charge for us on D, and certainly happy that he's here.
You got a game circled on the calendar that you're really focused on?
Right now, just Wofford. One game at a
That's the
time.
right answer. When your coach is standing beside you, that's the right
That's a
answer.
good answer.
One game.
What kind of coach is he? How do you describe his coaching style?
Coaching style, very personal. More than any coach I've ever had, for sure. He likes to attack. He's a nice guy, but on the field, he likes to get after the defense. He likes to chirp a little bit. So I love it. Style really means what he says. So I've been around a lot of coaches. Some guys don't really mean what they say. Coach Reisert does, for sure.
Awesome. So you guys are going to be swarming defense.
Yep.
Ferocious attacking, lots of blitz.
We'll see.
We gotta leave some of the
Okay,
imagination.
okay.
Yeah, we gotta leave some of the imagination.
Don't share too much. We'll edit that out. I'll ask you the same question I asked Coach. Gardner-Webb will win its third consecutive conference championship if. What does the defense have to do to help us win that championship?
Be consistent, not just in the games, but how we prepare. There's a lot of times defenses start hot or feel good about themselves one game, they get a little lax. I think we just need to be consistent. I think we have the guys to do it. I think we have the style of defense to do it. I just think we need to be consistent.
So you played against some big teams. You went up to App State. We had a second half lead against App State. How do you help the younger guys who weren't here last year go to a James Madison, have some swagger, have some confidence, walk on that field knowing that they can win if they put it all together? How do you help coach create that culture?
I would say you're a scholarship athlete too. You want to be the guy. Well, here's a good chance to start. You know, if you have a good game against a James Madison or UNC Charlotte, you're a guy. Like it's a, you want to be who you say you are, go prove it. That's the time to do it.
Make a headline. All right, so what's your message to your fellow students, to faculty, staff, alumni, everybody in Bulldog Nation? Why should they come out here, fill those seats, and watch you guys on Thursdays and Saturdays this fall? What's your message?
I think it's going to be an exciting style of play. I think we're going to have a lot of guys make a lot of big plays that you're going to want to watch, that you're going to be, it's going to be worth your ticket, be worth your time to come watch the big plays happen.
I'll be here.
All right.
All right.
See you
Thank you for joining us. Yeah, good luck to us. Folks, thank you for joining us. Episode 3 of First Downs. You get a sense of the excitement, you get a sense of the promise, you get a sense of the new era, the turning of the page here in Spangler Stadium. We can't wait until August 29th, Thursday night against Wofford in this stadium. You can go to gwusports.com, get your tickets now for that game and for every home game. Follow Gardner-Webb Football on all social media platforms. Take a look at our news center. There's always good news coming out of our football program. And just be here. Be here in August, September, and throughout the fall to support your Runnin Bulldogs. We're excited. I'm excited. Thank you for joining us on episode 3. Sco Dogs.